Hello, and welcome to Micro But Mighty Business Podcast with the Columbus Chamber. In this episode, I'll be talking with Dr. Arianna Howard, a leading voice in compassion work, inspiring others to create safe spaces to work, learn, and play. Dr. Howard's mission is to raise self-awareness globally to help others understand how lenses consisting of the cultural practices, genetic predispositions, generational cycles, and messages received from the outside world influence the ways we understand ourselves and others. I have just said a lot, so without further ado, please help me welcome to our podcast, Dr. Arianna Howard. Hello, Dr. Howard, and welcome to the Micro But Mighty Business Podcast with the Columbus Chamber. I'm so excited to have you on the show today. Welcome.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. Well, without further delay, let us go ahead and jump into our questions. Dr. Howard, could you tell me what was the driving force behind starting a consulting company that focuses on creating psychologically safe climates within organizations, schools, and nonprofit organizations?
I worked in spaces that were very psychologically unsafe. So I truly believe that I have been called to be an educator and a teacher and a leader. But I found myself working in spaces where I was able to do that work, but the spaces in which I did that work were very unsafe for me mentally, emotionally. I experienced interpersonal sabotage. Moving up through the ranks, getting promotions, caused rifts in the relationships I had with coworkers, people going behind my back and really trying to undo initiatives that I had worked hard to do. And so having job after job like that, I really started to question myself and my purpose. Was this really what I was meant to do? Because I was just experiencing so much hardship. I ultimately realized that, yes, it was my purpose. I also realized that experiencing those unsafe workspaces were also a part of my purpose. I was able to take those experiences, see the common themes within myself, within those organizations, and use that to help people feel safe in the spaces that they work, learn, and play.
I love that. Work, learn, and play. Absolutely. I think that it's very important to be the change that you want to see, right? It's easy sometimes to kind of muddle through and stick our heads in the sand and just kind of get through the process. But is that really living?
Right.
And so I applaud you for taking those steps to realize the changes that needed to be made and being a pioneer in those spaces. Can you explain the concept of a psychologically safe climate and why it's crucial for the success of an organization or institution?
Feeling safe to be you, feeling safe to do your job, right? So feeling safe to show up in your fullest talents, to lead initiatives, to make mistakes, to ask questions, feeling safe to do all of those things, knowing that you have the support of your peers and your leaders, never doubting that who you show up to be is not who they want you to be. And I think that that is so important, right? Especially since COVID. Mental health has become such a topic of conversation as of late, and understanding that if we don't feel well on the inside, things on the outside are not going to work. And so I think organizations are now understanding the importance of creating spaces where people feel safe to show up and to lead and to work alongside each other, to navigate through conflict so that they can be productive, get promotions, lead initiatives, do the work that they're called to do.
Absolutely. There is nothing more refreshing than being able to show up as your true, authentic self, and not code switching or trying to portray being even in a mental capacity that you're truly not. You know, we can dress it up. We can dress some pretty ugly situations up. But when you really peel the layers back and get to the core, there are some things that need to be aired out. And it's refreshing to be able to have the capacity, the ability to air that out and just feel safe, not judged, and know that everyone is truly interested in your best self.
And something I wanted to touch on, you talk about this idea of best self. Sometimes we make that synonymous with being perfect and being on all the time. And I help people to understand that our best is relative. I may not be feeling well. I may have woken up late. I may forgot my lunch at home. Maybe the dog was running around loose and so I'm frazzled coming into work and I'm not at my best. This is my 100% today. And so feeling safe to tell my peers, my coworkers, my leaders, you know what? I need to be by myself for about 5 to 10 minutes before I come into the meeting today. Or I may need a little more time today processing things because I'm just not at 110% today. I'm at 100% today. And so feeling safe to share those moments with your coworkers and peers allows us to be human.
Absolutely. I love that because every day is not a great day. From commutes in to family issues or what's going on in your personal life, in your household, especially that dog part, right? The dog didn't want to come right in when you called him. So those all can have a significant impact on how our day gets started and really how the day is productive or not, So I love that. I love that a lot. Now let's take a pivot and talk about what I like to call failing forward. I'm a firm believer that failure is only final if you choose to give up. Each failure, mistake, setback, obstacle, hiccup, or challenge we encounter, I believe should be looked at as an opportunity to become wiser, stronger, resilient even. In your experience, let's talk about a time when you were challenged with an organization working toward fostering a psychologically safe environment and how you found a way to help them.
A couple of organizations come to mind, actually. I'll talk about a nonprofit. So the work that they do in serving clients is very mentally taxing. So they serve homeless clients, they serve clients with lots of mental health needs, and they themselves don't always receive the support needed to support their clients. And so me coming and partnering with the organization to create a greater sense of psychological safety was definitely a challenge, only because the culture hadn't been that way before. And so real time during the training, there was lots of interest and engagement and desire to do the work. But I found the follow-up with stakeholders was a challenge. So convincing the CEO of that organization of the necessity of the work, carving out space and time for initiatives, and to keep the work moving forward, I felt like it was falling on deaf ears. And so what we had to do was work with those who worked under her to move the work forward. And we are now in the phase of trying to support that CEO in engaging in the work a little more intently. So, just having to pivot and finding those little cracks where the door is open so you can kind of stick your foot in and say, hey, are you interested in leading this work as a director and a supervisor? Sure, I'll take on this work. All right, let's talk about how we can, within your sphere of influence, do this work so that the CEO can see, this is working. It is increasing productivity. It is reducing staff absence and turnover and helping that CEO to understand the importance of the work.
Because it is very important work. Looking ahead, how do you see the importance of psychological safety evolving in the workplace? And what trends do you anticipate in organizational development?
So we are seeing some of this now. There are lots of well-being reports being published, especially since COVID, showing the necessity of a mentally safe workspace. I think with the shift to work from home, people realized, you know what? I didn't like the way I felt when I was going into work every day. I feel much more safe at home. And employers who need their employees to be on site, they're like, so what do we do with this? And so I think they're realizing the importance of creating work culture in which people want to be a part of and feel a part of. We know that workplace well-being is trending among topics of interest within organizations. They understand the direct connection to employee retention, employee productivity, and that bottom line. And so as the shift continues and monies continue to be directed toward these initiatives, I am hoping and excited about seeing more comprehensive programming and support around employee well-being, not just employee assistance programs, which are important, not just trainings, which are important, but a very comprehensive approach that is responsive to the needs of their employees.
Kind of like a wellness check, but it's a workplace wellness check.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Dr. Howard, can you tell listeners how to stay connected and follow along on your journey and how to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so my website is ariannahoward.com, and I am on all the socials, Dr. Arianna Howard. I'm going to spell my name for y'all because I know there can be maybe some different ways to spell Arianna. It is Arianna.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. We look forward to staying connected with you.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Micro But Mighty Business Podcast with the Columbus Chamber. We hope the stories shared and insights gained have inspired you to reflect on your own path and the endless possibilities that lie ahead. Remember, every entrepreneur's journey is marked by moments of challenge and triumph, and it's the lessons learned along the way that pave the road to success. Keep pushing boundaries. Stay committed to your vision and never stop dreaming big. Until next time, keep nurturing your entrepreneurial spirit and watch as your business grows from strength to strength. You can connect with the Columbus Chamber online at columbus.org, and you can reach me, your host, Arianna Harper, on LinkedIn. Farewell, and here's to your continued success in the world of entrepreneurship. Cheers.